Hi, welcome to another Power Blast podcast. Hey everyone, Perry Tinsley here, creator of the Power Blast podcast, owner of PutYourselfFirst.com, and founder of Team Power Blast. Hey, are you a reader? I mean, hopefully you are. And if you're not, I wasn't always a reader. Kind of really didn't like it. I was in this book of the month club as a kid, and the books just piled up, and I never read them. But I'm an avid reader now. And one of the things I really love is reading to not only better my own life, but to be a better coach for you. And every once in a while I'll come across some nuggets, and that's what sometimes inspires my podcast topics, and it inspired today's podcast topic. I'm going to give you a few nuggets that I learned. I've actually got them on a computer here because there's so much here. This is probably one book that I've highlighted so much stuff in. It's just like, Perry, you got to just go through and read it again. It's a book by Mel Robbins. She wrote a book called Stop Saying You're Fine. Have you read it? It's a great, just I guess a straightforward, no BS sort of thing to help people just get unstuck. And I really appreciate this from the standpoint, she used a story in here, and this is just one story. I mean, she touches on all different aspects of life, and I guess she has her own radio show and is guest speaker on things too. But she was talking about this one guy who, and this happens all the time with my conversations. Somebody will always say that they want to, I'll ask them why they want to join our fitness group or a challenge group or lose weight or whatever it is, and you usually get a very shallow answer. Because I really want to be healthier. Because I really want to be fitter. And, Mel, in her book, she talks about this guy he's like 24, and he was like, well, I went and had blood check numbers, and it showed that my cholesterol was really high, and I'm kind of worried about that. And she stepped back and just called him on it and said, what 24-year-old really cares about their cholesterol? Basically, you're wanting to lose weight, get in shape, lose the fat so you feel comfortable, can pick up chicks, and feel great, about yourself and really confident. Isn't that right? And he's like, yeah. I mean, and that's it. I mean, for a lot of us, we hide behind this screen of, I want to, we put our goals and dreams out there, but they're kind of soft and kind of fluffy and kind of not very specific. So it got me thinking to just taking down some notes of how we can get what we want when it comes to our health and fitness. And I'm using some of her guidelines here. Once again, you'd have to go to Amazon, look for Stop Saying You're Fine. But she said, you need to admit what you want, then act like you have it. And I know we've probably talked about that, act as if, but when you identify what you desire with your health and fitness, rather than fixating on the issues that you have or the obstacles. I mean, how many times do we do that? We're always putting out, oh yeah, I can't do this, and I can't do this, I can't do this. We've always got so many objections, even to ourselves. But when you get, you focus on what you desire, rather than those other things, you can now start to take action. So start by writing down a day in your life of how you imagine it to be. And so let's just talk about health and fitness here. What time would you like to get up? What's your morning routine like? What time will you exercise? What sort of groceries will you keep in your house? What type of meals are you going to be eating? How will you feel? Probably should say, how do you feel when you're at your ideal weight and your ideal health? And what are you able to accomplish? What are you able to do now? And so you write those things down. And writing about what happens during the day, and you detail what it will be like when you arrive home from work, what your evening's like. Be very, very specific now, because you write out how you're empowering yourself. You put as much of this into the first person, I am, I feel, those sort of things, and describe what you see, you feel, you smell, you taste as you move through your day. Focus on what you want. And that can be some really powerful mindset stuff because it gives you a map to head in a direction. So now that you get yourself all powerful, you spend one day actually going through and acting as if, you imagine. Take those action steps. And here's the action steps. This actually comes from her book. Here are a few questions and thoughts to get you started. And write down your responses and then take action. What do you want to change about your life? Where are you feeling stuck? So this can apply to more things than just health and fitness. In what areas of your life are you being a chicken, afraid to do something, or a jerk? You're kind of scoffing at it. List a few of your go-to anti-actions. Those are things that you do to avoid something that would bring you about a positive change. Like you want to, exercise would do that, but you go and you watch TV instead, or you avoid it and go and clean the house or straighten that desk that hasn't been straightened in 20 years. And then tell 3 people what your major goal is for this year, and ask 3 people for advice on how to achieve what you want. Talk to people who have accomplished what you want to accomplish. Create a map. Identify the small steps. We've learned this from Chalene Johnson and Darren Hardy with Compound Effect, but what are the small steps that need to be completed in order to reach your goal? And then do a data dump, which is writing down all the things, the to-dos, the worries, etc., that are overwhelming and distracting from moving forward toward your goal. Getting it out of there, removes it from the brain and helps the brain kind of declutter some of those things. Just going to finish up here on one of the summary and take it home here. But this is directly from the summary. She says, take ownership of your life. Underlying all feelings of being stuck is a basic problem with ownership. If you don't own or accept the everyday occurrences in your day, you begin to feel a distance from your own life. Whatever degree you feel like the things that happen to you are outside of your control, that's exactly how much you're going to feel like a stranger in your life. Yeah, we've had that before, right? So the ownership of your life cuts straight through your own vision of the future. If you don't assume control over major portions of your life, you're going to feel like a passenger. You'll have nothing to look forward to except what life hands you. And you've heard my story before, where it's very easy to step back. And when my wife was killed in a car crash, I had the choices. Do I step back, take control, or do I let life just control me? So finishing up this last step here, that's why you need to inhabit your life as if you own it. Owning your decisions, owning parts of your life, even when they're difficult, is what allows you to create a life and make it your own. Personalize it. I love that, especially when it comes to health and fitness. And so that's what I like to hear from you. I appreciate it when you like this podcast and share it and comment. Please comment and let me know, and subscribe. But let me know where you're at. What did you come up with? How is this helping with your mindset, and what goals you're wanting with your health and fitness journey? And we can share notes. Remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week.